not much help. And even pray to God, I do not believe with blessing of God, real peace will come. I don't think. Logically, who created violence? We, not God. So therefore, we must develop. We must, because of that, develop peace. Firstly, peace inside. Genuine peace only through inner peace. Inner, full of hatred, full of anger, full of frustration. Then peace impossible. Only through inner peace. Inner peace, I think most of our disturbances in our mind, too much emphasis, we and they, something different. Only concern about me, about we. Then, once you mentally, you yourself create too much because of that gap or division, then fear, distrust, suspicion. That brings fear. So fear brings anger. So real disturbance in our mind, this is too much self-centered attitude. So therefore, this is not related with the religious practice. Simply, as a human being, as a social animal. And then particularly now, this moment, unlike ancient time. Ancient time, yes, each nations, each individual country, even community. I think in ancient time, South Indian, they themselves managed, not much bother about what happened in North India. I think there's an ancient time like that. Now today, completely changed. East, their future depend on West. Western future depend on East. Similarly, South world depend on North. North world future depend on South. That's the today's reality. Then particularly the question of environment, global warming. The global issue, if something happens, everybody suffers. So therefore, the today's reality, firstly we are social animals. Each individual's future entirely depends on the rest of the humanity, rest of the society. And then these global issues, unless we develop genuine sense of same community or sameness of humanity, I think these man-made problems will remain. So therefore, firstly, whenever I talk, I consider myself another human being. Some people say Dalai Lama is reincarnation of our local Chara. Okay, let them say. But the reality, I'm just human being. Like that. Then, another level, I am Buddhist. I study Buddhism. I practice Buddhism, particularly Buddhism, a Nalanda tradition. Nalanda Buddhist tradition, I think very much based on academic sort of knowledge, not just faith. So therefore, as a student of Nalanda tradition, we study rigorously. Although I'm quite a lazy student, particularly at young age. I'm very, very lazy. Only out of a little fear of my tutor, when I studied, the tutor kept one whip. So out of fear, I pay some attention, study. Otherwise, not much interest, only play. So in any way, I trained and practiced. So then also after I came India as a refugee. Me personally, I'm the longest guest of Indian government. So, because of India's freedom, I had a lot of opportunity meeting with different, spiritual brothers, sisters from different traditions. So then, as a result, through personal contact, I really developed genuine respect, admiration, these religious traditions, major world religious traditions. Some believe you say worship sun. No, that's something different. But major world religious tradition, with certain philosophical concept, all carry same message of love, message of tolerance, forgiveness, self-discipline, and also message of contentment. All major traditions have same sort of practice. Of course, there are different philosophies, philosophical views. That not only between Buddhism and other traditions, but also within Buddhism. There are different philosophical views there. All these different philosophical views within Buddhism, all taught by Buddha. Sometimes I jokingly is telling people, the Buddha taught, one teacher as Buddha, as a teacher, one teacher, same teacher, taught different philosophical views. To some people, he taught certain views. At some other occasion, he taught some different sort of philosophical views. This not out of confusion about Buddha's own mind. Certainly not. Nor he deliberately tried to create more confusion among his sort of student. No. That these different philosophical views, deliberately taught by Buddha, shows, you see, there are different mental dispositions among his own disciples. So therefore, it is obviously over, say, last 3,000 years, different place, different environment, different culture, different way of life, different mental disposition, naturally there. So, these great masters need, as they, because of the creed or because of the teach, different philosophical views. All these different philosophical views, same purpose to bring conviction about this value of love. Value. And then just mention value of love, importance of love is not sufficient. We, human beings, we also have, by nature, you see, we have, biologically, we have this sort of, we have sort of experience of anger, hatred, all these. part of our mind. So, in order to promote the practice of love, we also need a certain sort of method to face anger, hatred, like that. So therefore, all these teaching, all this tradition, emphasis important on practice of tolerance, practice of forgiveness. And often anger comes too much desire, too much attachment. So all these teaching also is an emphasis importance of contentment. Then sometimes our emotion, goes against our principle. So all this teaching teach us self-discipline. So therefore, all these major world traditions really the same message. And different philosophy is necessary because of different mental disposition. Therefore, not only in the past history, but even today, there is sometimes conflict in the name of religion. Yeah? So, we must make effort, we have to make effort, to eliminate this conflict in the name of religion. I think, of course, in many cases, I think not the name of religion simply manipulate, not main reason, political power, the economic interest. But some cases, I think, some are simply fundamentalists or fanatics, fundamentalist is sometimes create some problem. So there, we need education. All major institutions, different philosophy, but all have same message, same potential to help humanity, to create better human being, peaceful life. So religious harmony, we can develop. Now India is, I think, a living example. I think last over 1,000 years, all major world traditions live in this country. In Bombay, they follow Zoroastrianism. The Parsi community, very small, but no fear. They happily sort of settled there. So many centuries. And then Christianity come, Islam come, Judaism come, happily settled in this country. And as far as Christian is concerned, I think on this planet, the Christian brothers, sisters, I think really made greatest contribution regarding education. There's no question. In every part of the world. I think other traditions, including Buddhism, I think not much active education field or health field, whereas Christian brothers, sisters, really extremely helpful. But sometimes our Christian brothers, sisters also usually carry some effort about conversion. That's sometimes difficult. One time I was in Kasadi, in America, one place, Kasadi. No. No, Mormon, yes. Utah, Mormon, no. One is the leader of that organization invited me, and then, but very nice. So I expressed these harmony, these things. Then they also arranged public talk. And my public talk, I praised sort of their teachings or their practice, and sort of the immense of service in the education field as well as the health. But meantime, I mentioned sometimes the conversion take place. Then those places where no major world religious tradition there, then conversion is very good. Christianity with philosophical views is much stronger. So teach them, convert them, or I don't know. But then the place where the traditional sort of strong sort of spiritual traditions there, then conversion sometimes causing conflict. So I mentioned that. So the audience, they really applauded. They applauded like that. So I think they agree that. So it's a few occasions in Mongolia, some Korean missionary workers there. Christian, yes, Korean Christian missionary sort of some groups, you see. They also came to see me. Then I told them, this is Buddhist country. So helping in education, health, wonderful. But conversion, not so much the kasuta, appropriate way. Whereas I myself, I give a lot of explanation about Buddhism in different, in Europe and also America, North America, South America, like that. I always telling them, this is not Buddhist country. This is Judeo-Christian background sort of tradition. So it is much safer, much better to keep your own traditional culture, traditional spirituality. I always tell them. So change religion is not easy. I want to share the audience one sort of example. In early 60s, then the number of Tibetan, their sort of the way of earning is simply road work, very difficult. So especially to those people who have children, they really suffer immense. So one family, their father passed away, the mother with few young children remained. And at that time, some international Christian organization, they really helped immensely. Also, this family received help. And then the one Christian organization also received taking care, education about her children. So I think 62, maybe 62, 63, you see, she came to see me and she told me all all her sort of stories, difficult sort of, sad sort of stories, right? And then she told me finally, now for this life, now she become Christian. But next life, she will be Buddhist. So that's a clear sign of confusion. So it is logically, is it better to keep one's own tradition? So therefore, I never try to sort of promote Buddhism in non-Buddhist countries. And similarly, some Buddhist country, some missionaries, their sort of effort to conversion, that also I'm not happy. So I told face to face directly to those Koreans. So therefore, in any way, you see, you Christian brothers, sisters, really made greatest sort of contribution on this planet about education, like that. So, and we can see some Christian nuns and monks in very rural area in India. The facility, very, very poor. Perhaps I think because Ramakrishna organization, maybe this is such sort of worker. But otherwise, Buddhists, I do not see any some Christian nuns or monks. They really serving in these such sort of rural areas, poor villages, education and health. All their enthusiasm come from their faith, Christian. So therefore, there is a sound basis to build genuine mutual respect, genuine admiration. That's the basis of genuine harmony. So, as a Buddhist monk, I fully committed to promotion of religious harmony. So you also, most of you, Indian, you have, let's say, 1,000-year-old, you have tradition, religious harmony. This is your treasure. You must make effort to keep alive these values. Then here another thing I want to share. That is now out of 7 billion human beings, over 1 billion, they openly say non-believer. So about billion, quite substantial number. And then frankly speaking, among the believers also, you see some rubbish believer also there. They believe God or Brahma or Vishnu or Saraswati, Ganesh, but their real life not caring according to their belief. Sometimes I think with my Indian friend, you see, Indian people generally very much sort of religious-minded people. I think each family morning you offer some flower, some incense in the front of Ganesh statue or Shivaji, like that. Then looks, you pray to God, almost now my corrupted life be successful. Pray, bless us. How can I have, you see, one sort of experience, quite nice experience. One Cuban refugee who settled in America. They told me, they praying to God. Fidel Castro, please, because of appeal to God, Fidel Castro, bring to heaven sooner the better. It's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah. Although he didn't like Fidel Castro, because they also suffer under his dictatorship. But no hatred. So ask God, bring to heaven. Wonderful. So I think the proper way to pray to God with incense or flower, please bring these corrupted officials, corrupted people, bring to heaven sooner the better. So you have the over 3,000 years sort of tradition. So respect non-believer. You know, one school of thought, Charvaka, ancient non-believer, and because of the nihilist Chavaka. So rest of school of thought criticize that, argue that view, but at the same time refer people who hold that view, refer Rishi. Rishi means sage. So respect, non-belief. I think, and then multi-religious country during, when India sort of, the constitution, work, then you see India's constitution based on secularism because of the reality, multi-religious community. So, secular is very fit. According to Indian understanding, secular means respect all religion, including non-believer. Some, my friend, some Christians, some Muslim, they feel the word of secular is a little bit negative towards religion or distance from religion. No, according to Indian understanding. So that, I think, your 1,000-year-old, your tradition, the secular is, I think, very much relevant to today's world. Respect all religion and also respect non-believer. And through secular way, we can promote secular ethics on the level to whole humanity. These moral principles, if you have religious belief, it is very good. All major religious tradition, you see, actually immense help to develop moral principles. But the non-believer, difficult. So therefore, you see, the only way is through the secular way to promote moral ethics. Here now, the use of common experience, we all come from our mother. We all have the experience, immense sort of affection from our parents, particularly from our mother. Then those who see people who receive maximum sort of affection from our mother, I think in deep insight, I think much happier, less fear than those individuals who basically very successful life, but at age, very young age, lacking about mother's care, affection, or from parent, or friend, or would just alone live with man, or even as an unwanted child. Later, no matter how successful, in deep insight, some sense of insecurity. That automatically brings fear, distrust. So such person, whole life, difficult to show genuine love towards others. So that's one reason. We all have the, generally speaking, we all have the potential to show affection to others because we received affection from our mother. That way we've grown up. Secondly, use common sense. Among your friends, some may be billionaire, very rich, but as a person, unhappy person. Lonely, feeling lonely, fear. some my friend, very rich, but as a person, very unhappy. So we are not part of mission. We are human beings, something we are living. So human love, affection is so important. Then, third point is scientific finding. Constant fear, anger, hatred, actually eating our immune system. Whereas more compassionate mind here automatically reduce fear, and increase self-confidence, inner strength. So that immense help to sustain good health. So these are now scientific findings. Now last, I think little over 1 decade. Now actually, now scientific research now showing these things. So therefore, use these things, we can educate people in education field. Sometimes we, the subject, compassion, love, these, we rely on her preaching. Preaching. Very good. If you really practice sincerely or follow sincerely, then all major religious tradition, same potential to increase these our inner value. But then, non-believer, so we must find a different way to approach. So that is the secular way to educate them. I think real transformation of humanity, better humanity, more sensible humanity, more compassionate humanity, must produce through education, not through preaching. Over 2,000 years, these preachings, I think, really made tremendous contribution, but not sufficient. I think the secular way to approach, promote these values, then very fit in secular education field. That I want to share with you in modern education, existing modern education. It seems to me very much oriented about material value. So generation who come from that, their way of life becoming some kind of materialistic culture, materialistic way of life. Then these inner value, some way eventually neglected. So now only thing, you see, the way to fulfill that through education. So I think like this university, I think with the leaders and teachers and even sort of senior students, you should